It's a beautiful day here in early August, and one thing I needed to do before we got closer to fall was build another greenhouse. In fact, I need to build a couple more, but this is an easily put together greenhouse you can get off of Amazon, or you just Google or whatever, look up raised bed small greenhouse or something like that. But it's pretty easy to put together. Maybe takes you about 45 minutes. And you can see what I did here is with this sheet metal here, I cut a hole with some snips so the tortoises can go in and out. Now I got to be careful on the edges here. I got to bend that a little bit to make sure that it's not really sharp, so they don't there's nothing sticking out, so it's not going to poke an eye out or anything like that. But yeah, so it's a pretty nice greenhouse, and I'm going to carry it, and I'm going to show you. Follow me over to the Golden Greek tortoise enclosure, which is where this is going to go. There's already a greenhouse in there, but we have more tortoises in those pens that are moved in. So I just want to give them more area to get completely dry and avoid the bad rain and the weather. And you can see some tortoises out here eating right now. There's one of the greenhouses. I'll show you the inside of that in a minute, because that one has a clamp light in there. I'm just gonna slide this down here. For right now, there's some grass in there, but I'm just gonna eventually, when we get closer to the brumation time coming into the fall, late fall, I'm gonna loosen up the soil in here so they can dig down, and then I'm gonna put some hay in there, work as like an insulator, and I'm gonna barricade them in so they can't come back out. The goal here is to put half in each greenhouse, and I'll tell you in a minute about why I have the heat lamp in there. It only goes on in the winter at night when the temperatures get really cold. But look how this just snaps right in, like so. Now, since we're still in summer, I'm going to loosen these up and raise it up maybe 4 inches here so the heat can get out. If it gets too hot in there, it can obviously cook them. But I want to make it safe for them, let some of the heat out, so that's probably where I'm going to be, right around 4 inches high. Now, as we get into late October, mid-October maybe, we'll put them all the way down, and we'll put maybe a stone on top to make sure that there's no gaps. Now, the other thing too is I'll put duct tape. Here's some duct tape here. Once we get maybe January, February, even December, put duct tape if we get some real frigid temperatures to make sure there's just no drafts going in there. But check it out, guys. It's 82 or 84 degrees today, and we got them in this greenhouse, which is a lot warmer in there. But I have a clamp light here, and that's on a timer. So what happens is if we get some extreme temperatures and they're, seeing temperatures into the single digits or even teens at night, I will make sure this goes on. So in here, it's at least 40 to 50 degrees at the minimum. I don't want them to get really too much lower than 36, 38 degrees if I can. However, I have had Golden Greek tortoises escape the greenhouse in the winter and brumate somewhere else in the pen. And the reason why I know this is because I came out here one time and I went to remove the barricade, and when I came out here, because it was it's a nice day, the weather looks good in the 10 days, so it's probably time to take the block off of here and let them come out. And there was one walking around the pen, and I was just totally blown away. So I do believe the Golden Greek tortoises can survive in New Jersey outside year-round, even without the greenhouse, although I just recommend it. And that's always a bonus, right? To have an animal that can stay outside year-round. You don't have any electricity really, unless you obviously have set a timer up and have a safety net for extreme temperatures. But in reality, the sun does its work and gives them the vitamin D. Works as magic, keeps the tortoises healthy. Not only do I use these for winter, obviously because they're out here now too. But again, I said earlier, we want to keep them dry. So tortoises, like golden Greek tortoises and Russian tortoises, Greek tortoises in general, really need areas to get completely dry and escape the rain. In New Jersey, sometimes we'll have 2-3 days of rain in a row, and that just hammers them. And then you come out here and you see them with their eyes all clouded and they're all just like lethargic, and then you have to end up giving them antibiotics. So the whole goal is to avoid giving your animals antibiotics if we can prevent them from getting sick. So having lots of areas. Now in some of these other pens I have logs where they can go under and escape the rain, as well as a greenhouse. But I have greenhouses in every one of the Greek tortoise pens that are outside, and the only ones I don't have them in are with the Eastern Hermans. They usually don't have any problems whatsoever, although they have logs where they can get dry and kind of brumate underneath and out of the elements. But you know, the Eastern Hermans are a lot like Eastern box turtles, as well as the Dalmatian Hermans, which also I have a couple pens over there. So the Greek tortoises, guys, are more fragile, especially when you get into Libyans. I have Libyans over there. You really got to watch them. They really just don't like the rain. They like it when it rains once in a while, and especially if it's warm, but they don't like, you know, cooler temperatures. They don't like cooler rains. So you got to really watch those. They're more sensitive. So got golden Greeks from various locales. These are from Syria. There's Armenians and marginated and Russian tortoises and Ibera Greeks. So there's a lot of colonies out here. And as you see, I have various types of plants. All these plants that are in these enclosures are edible, so they can eat them if they need to. Here is a hardy hibiscus. Now, this flower, believe it or not, a lot of times they'll just fall. But sometimes I'll come around and just find the ones that are dead, and I'll just pick them off and just toss them down there because they love them. It's a definite treat for them to have some of these flowers that are shot as they already bloomed. So that's the Greek tortoises and the enclosure in a nutshell, guys. But again, you got to really monitor your animals, and sometimes you have a sprinkler set up here on really hot days, and it's just really hot days. Try not to do it too much when it's 70s. It's just we don't want the cold water. But when it gets really hot and it gets close to 90 degrees, we'll turn the sprinkler on, even above 90 degrees, and just keep them cooled down. Especially the plants. You got to keep the plants healthy, because if the plants are healthy, they also are providing shade. They're not sagging. And a lot of these tortoises will wander underneath the shrubs and escape the direct sun. So, guys, again, these are very simple. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on, you just Google raised bed, small greenhouses. This is about 100, and I'm gonna say they're probably close to around $100 if I remember correctly. And they're about 45 minutes to put together, so it's not that difficult to put these together. So I'm not gonna disturb that one. That one's eating. But to get a closer up, this is a Syrian golden Greek tortoise. Beautiful animal, full grown, adult female. And there are, I believe, a few males in here and a few males in there, but they're separated because they came in at different times, different shipments, and I just wanted to make sure that they are treated them with Flagyl and Panicer. But amazing animals, guys. I really love the golden Greek tortoises. I really love any tortoise that can stay outside year round in New Jersey to avoid all of the electricity and maintenance in the wintertime. You can step aside from feeding them, so you have 5 months of the year where they're not eating, which saves money as well. But they also go through more of a naturalistic environment, being outside, which helps them reproduce. The more and longer you have these tortoises, and the more mature these pens are with plants, the more eggs you're going to get. The happier the tortoises are going to be. In reality, you're going to reduce stress. So the more they get comfortable, I mean, obviously this tortoise doesn't like to be handled, but I try not to handle them too much. I just want them to feel comfortable and have a stress-free life with amazing enclosures. But let me know what you guys think in the comments on the Golden Greek tortoise. And if you haven't liked, please do that and subscribe. That'd be great. I appreciate it, and I'd love to bring you guys more videos on the tortoises and turtles here at Reptastic Adventures.